Hey guys, my name is Lucas Navigato. I'm a senior here at Cal Baptist, kinesiology major, sports medicine concentration. It is Wednesday, December 18th, almost Christmas time, so Merry Christmas to everybody. Little introduction to my research proposal. The title I came up with is HIITT training versus movement training. Which is the most effective way to make millions? So, being a former baseball player here at Cal Baptist, something that's interested me is the game of baseball. So, looking into different training exercises, different training programs to find the most efficient way, which we all know now in Major League Baseball, is to make millions and a lot of it. So, a little background here on my research topic and why we need to further this research. Over the last 5 years, home runs and the game of baseball has kind of changed. More people are hitting home runs, more people are striking out, not putting the ball in play. The idea of exit velocity and launch angles has really changed the game of baseball. And health professions, scientists, everybody in the game of baseball are trying to find different ways and kind of leading toward this StatCast era of baseball. So looking further into this is something that I'm excited about, kind of record some of my findings. So here's a little background continued. Like I was saying, Major League Baseball's home run rate has increased the last 5 years. They smashed the record this year. Little to no research has been done on movement patterns, which is something that I'm interested on this. And then finding the most efficient way to just increase performance in any sports areas is something that's high on the list. And just out of pure curiosity for me, playing baseball my entire life, trying to figure out different ways and making this jump into the next part of my life. So now we'll go into my problem statement, talk about my research question overall. So what I got is, what are the effects of high intensity training exercises versus movement over maxes training exercises in sport performance, specifically in males aging from 18 to 25 that are trying to increase exit velocity off the bat? So I'm looking at college students, and in my research, they all come from the same training facility. So they're all kind of buddies that know the system. They'll be split into two groups, both randomized. One the movement group and one the HIITT training group. They'll both have a series of exercises. They'll go over for 4 weeks. They'll train 4 times a week. And then through those 4 weeks, they'll all do the same hitting session together, which they do previous months before. So they'll all do that 3 times a week. TrackMan will post the exit velocity pre and post, and then compare scores from there. So my hypothesis is that high intensity training exercises increases sport performance at a higher effectiveness and faster rate than movement over maxes exercises. So I'm saying that the HIITT training, or both training exercises or programs, are going to increase exit velocity, which they should, but I believe that the HIITT training will increase at a more effective and faster rate. So just going a little more in depth, I've explained most of this already, but the overview of the intervention, participants will be male. There'll be 20 of subjects, 18 to 25 college baseball players. Procedures, tracking exit velocity pre and post throughout the exercise training program, and then TrackMan will be using to track. So here's the statistical test that I use, finding the p-value and r-value through an ANOVA test. As you can take a look, here's some of the results, and look as you please. So now we'll get into the discussion part of the PowerPoint. And here's my little write-up that I came up with is although HIIT training specifically plays its role on performance, specifically in exit velocity and high-level baseball players, there still could be more research done in the field of baseball. Baseball is a sport that has the most professional players and are playing the most amount of games. So finding a different way to help these athletes perform needs to be at an all-time high. Major league sports are what kind of makes a lot of people go. So finding ways, and a lot of people's lifestyles as well, training their whole lives to become professional athletes. So looking into this should be at an all-time high, especially in the game of baseball, with a bunch of current events going on at this time. And then the research states that we do not need to stack on a bunch of weight all the time, but can find efficient ways of moving. And mastering the movement can be the same or even more effective in strength and performance training than HIIT as well. HIIT's one of the most researched and looked upon at the highest throughout sports performance. So having this movement exercises and movement over maxes and understanding how the body moves and mastering that exercise is actually really important in how we train. So just a little quick conclusion on this research as a whole is that finding new training methods and techniques is something we need to look forward or further into. So finding ways to be creative and expanding the ways that we train to find ways to enhance performance at a more efficient and effective way. And then that's pretty much the write-up and my PowerPoint. Thank you guys for listening. It's been a pleasure.